In this video, I'm going to cover the idea of karyotypes and a process called nondisjunction. And we're going to learn basically what do karyotypes tell us, what's the purpose of them. And so a karyotype is simply a picture of someone's chromosomes. So if you were to isolate one cell and take the DNA from it, you could align the chromosomes. And chromosomes and karyotypes are arranged by their corresponding pairs, which we call homologous pairs. So these two chromosomes are what are known as a homologous pair. And what that means is that they have the same types of genes. So maybe it's the gene to produce hemoglobin, right? You have two copies of that, one from each parent, right? So if I were to, for each chromosome, let's say the red one is from your mother. For each chromosome, out of the 23 pairs, one is from the mother, and the other then is from the father, right? So I can highlight those in a different color. I won't do them all, just some of them, right? And the idea is that you have two copies of every gene. Each parent gave you a full set. Chromosome pairs 1 through 22, so all but the last pair, are known as autosomal chromosomes, and they contain the majority of genes. While pair number 23, which would be down here, are known as sex chromosomes, and those chromosomes influence your genetic sex, whether you're genetically male or genetically female. So how do chromosomes influence genetic sex? Well, those sex chromosomes, the 23rd pair, you can have either two X chromosomes, and if that's the case, you would be genetically female. If you have an X chromosome and a Y chromosome, then you are genetically male. And you can look at the sizes of the chromosomes, and you'll notice that the X chromosome is much larger than the Y chromosome. The X chromosome has about 1,000 genes. The Y chromosome only has about 100. What's unique about the Y chromosome and what leads to organisms being genetically male is that it contains a single gene known as the SRY gene. And that gene creates a protein that affects a bunch of other genes so that during development, an organism will develop either into a male or a female. And so it's the presence of the Y chromosome that creates genetic males. If there are only X's, then it would be a genetic female. And so this karyotype is just showing the idea that there's 22 pairs, and that this last pair is either going to be X and Y. If it's a big and a small, that's an X and a Y, or two X's. If it's two X's, then that would be a genetic female. Is it possible for someone to have an incorrect number of chromosomes? It is. Remember that during meiosis, chromosomes are separating. So you take a cell with 46 chromosomes and you create cells with 23. It's possible for chromosomes to not separate properly. That is something known as nondisjunction. Nondisjunction can lead to missing or additional chromosomes in sperm cells or egg cells. So instead of a sperm having 23 or an egg having 23 chromosomes like it's supposed to, it might have 24 or it might have 22. A well-known example of nondisjunction is something called trisomy 21. Right? Tri means 3, 21 refers to the 21st chromosome. Trisomy 21 leads to something that most people have heard of called Down syndrome. Individuals with Down syndrome then have an extra number 21 chromosome. And so if I look at this karyotype, I see that this is a male. They have an X and a Y. All right, so I know it's a male. And I can see that this individual has two chromosomes for every single pair. Right? Chromosome number 1, there are 2. And every single chromosome is the same with the exception of chromosome number 21. There is an extra chromosome. And that leads to the symptoms of Down syndrome. Most of the time, missing or having an extra chromosome results in the organism not developing correctly, but there are cases where the organism is born but maybe has some side effects, Down syndrome being one example. Okay, that is it for karyotypes. Thank you for watching.